Stop Agenda 2030.
Let's talk about the resistance and what is the resistance. During COVID, I officially realized that we were in deep trouble, and I decided I had to do something about it, and I didn't know if I was going to run for president or what I was going to do. And then things kept going. For a little while, I thought Trump was better than Biden for a minute, but then right at that time when the shots came out, I figured that Trump was bad, Biden was bad, they're all bad. And I used my common sense and I figured out that Biden wasn't a real person, and Trump, I don't know what he is. There's evidence of all kinds of weird stuff going on with him, right? And I figured out when I did run for president in 2024 that it was all controlled and there's no way a normal person could become president because it's all ran by a cult and secret societies, and they have total control of it. There isn't no free election, and America has been a lie the whole time, okay? All these people were pre-selected basically when they were born for whatever position they are in, all right? And it says here, it's incredible how many of our global issues have been caused by 3 white men in their 70s clinging to power to avoid prison. So if you think any of these people are good guys, then you're not part of the resistance. The resistance consists of humans who want to stay human and want to get rid of the New World Order and the cabal and the deep state and the governments once and for all. We don't want it. We don't need it. We don't need their slavery. We shouldn't be working our whole lives, 40 hours a week or whatever. It should be like 10 or 20 hours a week. We should all own our own businesses, own our own property. We shouldn't be paying taxes. We should have clean air, food, and water. Total freedom. The Constitution was written by men, but God grants us way more freedom than the Constitution is. But we can use that as a framework. Hope you understand that. But we got to get rid of these people in this system that's been occupied, right? Not just by Israel, by a whole bunch of scumbags, right? That's who the cabal is, who the deep state is. Trump's not fighting it. He's part of it. There's no evidence that he's fighting it. Putin supposedly came out and said he was trying to fight Satanism. We all know he hangs out with the little hats and Shabbat Lubavitch, right? So they're all doing the same things. They're all trying to bring about the New World Order. Because in the book 1984, they had to have a constant war going on 2 different sides, right? And that's what this is with Putin, to keep you occupied and distracted from what they're really building, which is a one world government, a one world currency, financial system, digital, based on cryptocurrency, and all connected with the AI hive mind through all the humans. So total surveillance, total enslavement. And if you look at what they're doing in China, that's how they want to do it everywhere. Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum said that that was their game plan, was to make everywhere like China. So that's why they're doing all this stuff to us with the surveillance and the Palantir and the flat cameras. Did you know that China bought all that stuff from us, from our companies, from American companies that were started by the CIA, and they installed it over there? Why? Because they're all working together, all right? They're already a one world government. It's lockstep. Remember during COVID, every government did the same thing, all right? They all signed up for this. 193 countries signed up to murder its own citizens. That's the UN Pact for the Future and Agenda 2030. Why is Trump setting up checkpoints across America? He says it's for immigrants, but I think he's normalizing you to it, because during Agenda 2030, they're going to have restricted land usage. So you're not going to be able to go wherever you want unless you got the right carbon footprint or social credit score. When you are trying to bring in the New World Order, but you need a good cover story, thank you to Bird Woman. All governments and every government worldwide has signed up for this to kill its own citizens. So we must overthrow the governments worldwide in every country So I need somebody from every one of them places to become a leader. In America, I need someone from every city, state, county, wherever, to join up with me and be part of the resistance to stop them from murdering us and controlling and enslaving us, because that's what they're doing with this Agenda 2030 sustainable development. It's not about climate change, it's about control. They want to control how we grow food, how we use land, how we heat our homes, how we travel, how we monitor emissions, how we manage farms, how we regulate wildlife, how our cities are designed, how economic activity is measured. All this has been happening for a while and in the process of happening, and they want it to be completed by 2030, which is 4 years away. Climate action, food system transformation, land and water regulation, energy transition, smart cities, digital identity systems, global partnership with private corporations, biodiversity protections, poverty and inequality reduction. Climate action, that means they're going to control where you go and how much fuel you use. Food system transformation, that means they're going to put poison on your food and feed you a bunch of genetically modified food. Land and water regulation, that means you won't be able to own your own land and they're going to steal your water. Energy transition, that means they're going to force you to drive electric cars and use all types of different ways besides ways we're using now that don't help at all and they're not solving any problems. Smart cities, under total surveillance, restriction of movement, digital identity systems, well, we know what that is. Global partnerships with private corporations, that's what Palantir and Oracle and everything Trump's doing, right? Is these corporations become part of the government and become part of the control systems. Biodiversity protection, that means you're going to be in the smart city and you're not going to be able to go out into the wilderness because they think that humans are bad and creating climate change. Poverty and inequality reduction, that means you're going to get a universal basic income and it's going to be almost nothing. You're basically going to be starving to death, and the only food you're going to be able to get is the kind they say you can get based on your carbon footprint and your social credit score. So if you say anything bad about the government, you're not going to be able to buy certain things. New laws, new regulations, new economic models, new surveillance tools, new restrictions on industry, land use, and resource development. That means the corporations and the government's going to own everything. New surveillance tools, stuff that we haven't even thought of yet, that they're going to use to surveil us, like 6G inside of our bodies, surveillance under the skin. New economic models based on cryptocurrency, based on the surveillance tools and this whole social credit system, and the new laws. And it's going to be for all kinds of crazy stuff where robots are going to have rights that are going to be the same as humans, basically. According to the World Economic Forum, your digital ID and your vaccine are very integral to go together. So whatever they're going to use, them things are going to go together, and they're going to try to make you take another type of vaccine and force you into it. But this time it's going to be much, much worse than the last one, because you're literally going to have to make a choice of starving to death or taking their vaccine. They're planning on tracking every citizen on Earth with their vaccine tracking system linked to the digital ID, and they're going to do it as soon as babies are born, and Bill Gates is already doing that in a bunch of poor African countries, testing out the system, and basically they're going to bring it to all of us if we don't stop them, if we don't do something about it.
Digital ID, so lifelong tracking. It generates lists of the unvaccinated as well. This will put you on a list if you're unvaccinated or you didn't fully comply with the full vaccination schedule that they recommend. For everyone's vaccine status, it must be globally shareable. Okay, this is a global program. This isn't just local, county, state, country. No, this is global. And of course, it includes the model of surveillance. So your community health worker, these are non-clinical workers, by the way, can identify and refer children for vaccination through electronic immunization registry. So we're talking about non-clinical people who can come into your house and say, oh, your child's not fully vaccinated. And so they then refer it to the authorities that you're not fully vaccinated. So all of this points to an infrastructure for global vaccine compliance. A network is all connected to digital ID. Every point of contact in the system becomes a checkpoint. Did you do this? If not, you can't move forward. Are you fully vaccinated? If not, you can't have access to this or that. This will also shape behavior through alerts, reminders, and social monitoring. This has Bill Gates, the Gavi Vaccine Institute, with the World Bank, UNICEF, and the WHO written all over it. It is a global digital ID system permanently linked to vaccination status, your socioeconomic and demographic data, driven by AI surveillance, designed for international interoperability and forced compliance. This is the vaccination part of the digital ID. I originally did not know that there was an immunization agenda 2030, but yes, there actually is. You can go to the website and check it out. They have all beautiful language to say that it's all for benevolent, trying to help people out. But as we saw in 2020 and beyond with the whole COVID scam, it will be forced compliance. You will be forced into getting things you don't want to get. So as much as you can, I'd advise pulling yourself out of the medical industrial complex as much as possible. Make healthy, truly healthy life choices for yourself and your family. I think the only thing that the healthcare system now is good for is emergent care. But the healthcare system to keep you healthy is not what it is. They don't have healthcare to keep you healthy at all.
Before I continue, make sure you share, follow, like me on every platform, everywhere. I'm trying to wake up the whole world and create a world resistance.
The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are framed as humanitarian goals, but the operational language, when decoded, consistently aligns with centralized authority, restricted freedom, digitized surveillance, corporate governance, loss of national sovereignty, restructuring of family economy and land use. This is why linguistics, historians, and political theorists refer to Agenda 2030 as the most ambitious global power consolidation project in modern history. One Health is a global policy framework led by four powerful institutions: World Health Organization, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Organization for Animal Health, United Nations Environment Program. The premise is simple: human health, animal health, environmental health are inseparable and must be governed as a single system. But the implications are enormous. Under One Health, public health authorities gain influence over agriculture and farming, wildlife management, land use, climate and emission, water systems, food production, livestock testing and surveillance, emergency powers, movement controls, zoonotic disease policy. One Health expands public health beyond hospitals and vaccines into every aspect of daily life by declaring anything that affects animals, climate, or ecosystems can affect human health. This effectively gives health bureaucracies, often aligned with international institutions, jurisdiction over farms, forests, private property, livestock, even your pets, wilderness and water systems, rural communities, and food sovereignty. This is not a theory. This is already happening. Agenda 2030 gives the framework. One Health gives the enforcement mechanism. Without One Health, Agenda 2030 is just a list of goals. With One Health, Agenda 2030 becomes a global system of control.
So I just blew this shit the fuck up because I cannot sit around idly by while they are literally enslaving us before our eyes. The UN just had a meeting about pushing this carbon footprint bullshit, and tonight Apple from Black Eyed Peas performed tonight, and he's going to be one of the first celebrities pushing this agenda, just like they were pushing the vaccine. I'm telling you all now, this is a precursor to global slavery. Policing humans on their carbon footprint is a precursor to global slavery. Wake the fuck up, people. You all just got fucking vaccinated. People just fucking died off the face of the earth. People are having health issues. And now it's okay to speak out against the vaccine when a lot of us were getting fact checked on social media. But now we can speak the truth. So guess what? They're gonna do the same thing. It's the same pattern, same cycle over and over again, where they fucking police us. And then after like 10, 15 years, then all of a sudden it's okay. Then all of a sudden it's okay. But I'm not gonna fucking stand here and let us get enslaved. So humans, wake the fuck up.
What is Agenda 2030? We seem to be moving fast in that direction. It's only 4 years away. And all these countries, including the United States, have signed up for it. No poverty population dependency system. Eradicate poverty is appealing but linguistically vague. It does not mean creating prosperity. It means eliminating private economic autonomy by expanding state or corporate dependence. Welfare expansion, universal dependency, universal basic income, reduction of private ownership, and state controlled livelihoods. You will own nothing and be happy. Zero hunger, centralized engineered food systems. Food security is used instead of food production control. What this means: genetically modified foods, corporate seed control, removal of local farms, elimination of livestock, and global food governance. Good health and well being. Health is framed as a universal right to justify universal surveillance and intervention. Mandatory vaccination, biometric health monitoring, pharmaceutical dominance, and loss of bodily autonomy under One Health. Quality education. Quality is undefined, so governments or external bodies define it. Curriculum harmonization, global ideological alignment, and mass social conditioning, especially in early childhood when values are malleable. Brainwashing the kids. Gender equality, family restructure design. Language pushes gender equity but downplays the restructuring of the family unit. The real meaning: state involvement in family roles, erosion of parental authority, identity politicization, and ideological intervention in personal relationships. That means they're destroying your family. Clean water and sanitation, water governance and rationing. Linguistic tactic. Equitable access is used instead of restricted usage. Water quotas, water property removal, and supranational control of freshwater distribution. Affordable and clean energy, energy restrictions, and smart grid control. Affordable and clean justify eliminating existing energy sources. Energy rationing, smart meter surveillance, carbon quotas, and elimination of oil, gas, and personal heating choice. Decent work and economic growth, state corporate labor management. Uses positive words, decent, inclusive, to signal labor restructuring. Expansion of gig economy, precarity, state dependence, ESG compliance, and economic servitude through debt and regulation. Industry innovation infrastructure. Technocratic governance, innovation mass enforcement of digital ID, surveillance tech, and AI regulation. Restricted transport, biometric checkpoints, digital infrastructure, and controlling your physical movements. Reduced inequalities, wealth redistribution through control. Vague moral framing without clear mechanisms. Decoded meaning. Centralized financial systems, elimination of personal wealth, and quasi-communist control of income and assets. Sustainable cities and communities, smart prison cities. Smart, sustainable, and resilient are used to mean digitally governed. Surveillance grid, geofenced movement zones, 15-minute city confinement, and digital regulation of behavior. Responsible consumption and production, centralized currency and carbon controls. Responsible is undefined, it means monitored. Programmable currency, social credit points, restriction on buying, selling, and travel. Climate action, eco-dictatorship. Geoengineering, lockdown-style climate mandates, and seizure of energy and land under climate pretext. Life below water, ocean and fish regulation. Protection means control. Seizing jurisdiction over fisheries, coastlines, and shipping, often through treaty mechanisms. Life on land, wildlife, and resource control. Again, protection equals governance. Land use restrictions, wildlife policy expansions, One Health, and limitations on farming, hunting, and rural living. Peace, justice, and strong institution. Permanent war and migration flows. Words evoke utopia. Implementation evokes surveillance. Global policing. Judicial centralization. Engineered migration and elimination of national sovereignty. Partnership for the goals. One world governance. Partnership mass binding international governance. Public-private cooperatives, corporate governance, global treaties, and top-down international rule. Agenda 2030 uses loaded language designed to evoke emotion, avoid specifics, sound benevolent, disarm criticism, hide coercive structures. This is classic soft power language engineering.